low-range phones just become day by day more popular. And Metro PCS, they offer up very budget devices where people, they can buy them and stay away from contracts, and if something happened, it's not going to be cost a lot of money to get them replaced. And this is very artistic, and we have today a comparison video. It will be between the Samsung Galaxy Core Prime and the ZTE Obsidian. So without further ado, guys, let's gonna go straight to the comparison. I usually start my comparison with the design for the phones. Actually, this is going to be a black plastic rounded from the edges. As you guys can see, it's a ZTE standard phone. As you guys can see, plastic back, and you have the audio jack from the top, and from the side there is a charging cord, the power, and actually from the bottom you're gonna have only the microphone, and the volume rocker is going to be on the left side. The design, actually, you can tell the phone is very cheap, very budget, but the grip is nice with this phone, so you shouldn't have no problems. Everybody knows that the phone, it doesn't look that nice and a premium, but compared to the Samsung Galaxy Core Prime, I would say the Core Prime, it looks much way better. And Metro PCS, they have only the white version. This is the same design, or the language design, for Samsung. You get the volume records on the side and the capacitive buttons. As you guys can see, the power, like that's actually every Samsung phone has the same thing. And there is no LED notification where you have one in the ZTE Obsidian. This is actually the only thing I would prefer with the ZTE design, just to have a little bit more for the phone. But overall, the Samsung Core Prime, it looks way much better, even with that plastic, but it looks a little bit more premium, and just you feel better as looking phone. So very much just looking phone, I would say the Samsung Galaxy Core Prime is better. When we look on the phone displays, actually noticeably you're gonna find that the Samsung Galaxy Core Prime has a better looking display, and the color is much better. But as a specification, that would be a little bit more for the ZTE, because they have 480x854 for the resolution and 218 for the PPI, while the Samsung are 480x800 and the PPI is 207. But overall, guys, I mean, as the same size screen here, and but I mean, just from the experience that I have, I mean, the colors and the screen is both TFT, so you don't have IPS or AMOLED here, but as a nice looking display, that would be the Samsung Galaxy Core Prime. When you buy the phone gonna comes with the Lollipop Android 5.1.1 for both phones, and the Samsung Core Prime, they have the TouchWiz for Samsung, and the ZTE, they have the ZTE UI here, which is actually not big of a difference here, because same operating system, but Samsung, they have a little bit more features, I guess. There is no NFC in both phones, and actually you have a screen mirroring here, and you have some of the power saving mode and stuff like that, but nothing really major here. Just the Samsung market, so you have access to it because you have Samsung TouchWiz, and here you have some of the features, like where you can put timer to switch off your phone and turn on your phone, which is, I believe, it's not something really important, and you can unlock the phone through your voice, also not really much important. And for like both operating system, I haven't seen any lags or any problems, so for both they're doing very good job. From my experience in the phones, I haven't seen any bigger difference in the performance. But as a specification wise, it might be different a little bit, because Samsung here, they use Snapdragon 410 with 1 gig of RAM, and they use the Adreno for the GPU 306 and 1.2 Cortex for the processor, which is going to be a quad-core processor. And while the ZTE, they're using the MediaTek, actually MT6 735M, and they have GPU Mali 7720, which is actually, as you guys can see, here's the results: 1 gig of RAM and 1.1 gigahertz for quad-core processor. So that's not big a difference here, but actually, as you guys can see, there's a very close results here. It may be the single core better with the ZTE, but the multiple core score will be better in the Samsung Core Prime. As the storage wise, both are 8 gigabytes for the internal storage, and you have 3.7 free to use, which is actually very much the same here, so no big advantage for the internal hardware or the memory compared with each others. Also, we're going to be talking about the battery in the phones. Actually, you have 2000 milliamp hour battery for the Core Prime, and you have 1800 milliamp hour battery. As far as the screen doesn't give that high performance on the phone, and you have 200 little bit more milliamp for the Core Prime. I would say both they're actually, I mean, I experienced the same thing with it, so there is not big of a difference. Maybe a little bit more optimized for the Core Prime. Both you can go for 6 hours talking time, and stand by, you know, the phone you can leave it for 2 days if you don't touch it or stuff like that, which is kind of normal and standard. So no big huge thing here when we talk about the battery. It's very standard battery as well. If you need affordable phone with a decent camera, I would say go for the Samsung Galaxy Core Prime. After we test both camera, actually I can tell you that the camera with the Core Prime is way much better actually. It has some of the modes here, as you guys can see. A little bit of the Pro, which is the manual, where you can adjust some like ISO, or you know what I mean, that's for the brightness actually, the WP. You can also like do it auto or something, so that's kind of cool stuff. The 2 megapixel cameras, both they can do 720p for a video, and very much you don't have HDR, and you have gesture shots, and you have a flash, and very much auto mode. For the daylight, it's fine. During the night time or low light, you're not gonna expect good from both phones because the aperture is not that good. But either way, these phones affordable phones and not pricey, but a little bit better camera, absolutely. That would be the Samsung Galaxy Core Prime, no doubt. No doubt when we talk about price here, that the ZTE is the most affordable phone in the world. It's like $19. You can just buy like a large pizza for $19, and you can also get the ZTE Obsidian for the same price. The phone overall, that wasn't bad phone at all, and as you guys can see the results, it was like very competitive to the Core Prime. Core Prime also very affordable for 49 bucks from Metro PCS. You can get that phone. Both they're doing very good job, and they are very affordable, and people right now they're not going to spend too much of money. So if you'd like to buy any one of them, I would recommend it with no problems. But overall, I would say pay a little bit more. 50 bucks is not going to break your bank, and get the Core Prime. Thank you so much for watching. As always guys, subscribe for more. Thumbs up for that video. I will catch you in the next one.